over, green morning, green afternoon, green evening, world over, all our brothers and sisters, wherever you are in different countries, in different continents, in different time zones. Hope you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your health, you're taking care of your wellness. Please look after yourself, look after everybody in your community the best possible way. I think the things are fading out now, and we will soon overcome world over this particular crisis of coronavirus, this particular pandemic. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful, crystal clear, bluish water is flowing all around. And we extend a very hearty welcome to our distinguished guest this evening, Dr. Sunil Mittal, the Associate Dean, School of Environment and Earth Sciences, and Head of the Department, Environmental Sciences and Technology, Central University of Punjab, located at Bathinda in India. We extend him a very hearty welcome. We have been joined by Mr. Anil Manocha ji, the Executive Director, Ion Exchange Asia Pacific Private Limited, Singapore, right from our city. And when we show you this beautiful slide over here, feel it, neat, clean, wonderful, bluish water all around flowing. What a beautiful feeling it gives to all of us. Let the whole world have such a crystal clear water all around. Ladies and gentlemen, जल है तो कल है, जल संरक्षण जरूरत भी है और हमारा कर्तव्य भी. It's a moral duty. We got to save every drop of water, and that's what we got to be taking care of. We are thankful to Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Jal Shakti from Central Government, who was kind enough to be with us on 12th of August on the World Youth Day, when we had youth from world over, and they expressed their concern, their deep concern, that we got to be taking care of every drop of the water, because water is going to be a scarce kind of a commodity, and we got to take care of water, particularly our drinking water, quality of the water, wastewater, and scarcity of water. And water resource management is very, very important in entire ecosystem of water management strategy. We were also that day joined by Arushi Nishankji. She is at present Namo Gange, that is the concept Sparsh Ganga. She is the founder Sparsh Ganga. She was also with us along with the youngsters. She is doing a great work, a lot of work. So all of us together, we take this journey forward. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, ICSI, and Punjab takes the lead, and I always share with all of us, because since 1994, Punjab was the first state in India taking basically the roadmap, that is all the Punjabis to be getting together on a common platform, Punjabi Parvasi Divas. And then in 2003 onward, then the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Bharatiya Parvasi Divas. So during this pandemic, like doctors, nurses, paramedical people, they are doing great job at keeping education relevant, making education relevant. All vice chancellors, directors, principals, teachers, educators, and the entire education eco-fraternity system, they are doing great, great commendable job. We always say from India, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. That means the entire world is one family. It's a global education collaboration. Together, we all have to work out the best possible way. Ladies and gentlemen, new education policy, heartiest congratulations to India, and particularly the Honorable Prime Minister, Education Minister, all education stakeholders. Wherever you are, you're doing great job, you're great warriors, you're wonderful people. Take care of this new education policy implementation the best possible way, which has been given to the whole world. The whole world is looking towards India, the policy which has been given on 29th of July, how it gets implemented, and thereafter the monitoring part, that is to be taken care of. During pandemic, we collected the data from almost 152 different countries, our research scholars, our teams world over. The next global crisis will be related to water-related issues, big concern. Certain places dams are being built up, certain places floods are coming, somewhere the drought is, and countries those are building lot of dams. What would happen whenever they would like to create any difficult situation for any other country? They will open the salute gate and they can bring the floods over there, they can bring the droughts over there. So a lot of challenges are going to be there. And the way we are consuming the water today, if we do not save every drop of water, ladies and gentlemen, the world will pass through a very big crisis. Water conservation by all of us at all levels, it is so important, it is so precious, and it is so mandatory. We all have to save every drop of water. And our chamber very, very strongly recommends. International Chamber for Service Industry strongly recommends that the water saving and the water conservation should be the integral part of entire education ecosystem at all levels, whether schools or colleges or universities or polytechnics or ITIs or any samstha, any organization, irrespective what is the age group of the children, because saving water is so important. We are not realizing at this point of time, but it is a very, very challenging situation. Bangalore will run out of water. Chennai, you may say it is next to the coastal area. It will have such a deep crisis if things are not taken care of and if appropriate measures are not taken timely. And at the same time, we will be talking today one of the deep concerns. Now, ladies and gentlemen, women empowerment is very important. You would say, why is it so? Because saving of the water will start from your residence. Whether our mother, our daughter, our wife, our grandchildren, our teachers, and our trainers, and our skill developers, everybody, you got to be taken care of. And there it is very, very important. From our chamber, we are having 12 hours beaming every day. We are proud to share with all of you that we are going to complete 500 webinars related to education, making education relevant, where school education, higher education, technical education, vocational education, polytechnic education, ITI education, whatever you can think of, even the future skills when we talk about. And we are that's why doing a program with 37 sector skill councils also of the government of India. We finished with the health sector, then we came to wellness sector, then we came to entrepreneurship sector, and nowadays we are with the media entertainment sector skill council. Now, we start our journey early in the morning from Australia, Fiji, and New Zealand. Then we come to ASEAN, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, all the 10 countries when we talk about 650 million population. And can you imagine it has got a culture of India? In Bali, there is a Ramayana. And if you travel to any place in ASEAN, you will always have a culture of India. India's footprints are here. If you come to Cambodia, there is an Angkor Wat that is a world-seeing heritage UNESCO property. Similar way, if you come to Bangkok airport, you will be saying Sagar Manthan is being shown over there. You go to a couple of other places, you will be surprised that India's heritage seeped in and it moved and it spread to the entire Asia. Then we go to the Middle East, we go to Saudi Arabia, we go to Doha, Qatar, we go to Oman, we go to Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Dubai, and Kuwait, all the places. Then we go to Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and then we come to South Asia. We move to Afghanistan, we go to Bhutan, we go to Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and then all the way we go to Latin America, right starting from Mexico. We go down over there and we go to Panama, we go to Costa Rica, we go to Venezuela, we go to Brazil, we go to Chile, we go to Argentina. All the countries we take care of, Spanish-speaking population over there. And then, of course, a lot of Punjabis have gone to Canada and UK. So European Union, Canada, and United States, we take together on a common platform at 5 p.m. We are right with India. Bharat aur aap sabka hardik swagat hai. And that's what we have got the program. Our chamber is organizing almost 26 webinars per week. And all the themes of education are being clubbed over here. Don't forget, tomorrow evening there's a special program at 8 p.m. from the non-resident Indians from UK. Day after tomorrow, it is from the USA. And every day in the afternoon at 12:30, we have got a special motivational talk. आज की युवा पीढ़ी क्या चाहती है, आज के यूथ क्या सोचते हैं, और दूसरा आजकल हम बच्चों के साथ कवर कर रहे हैं, मोबाइल तो आप छोड़ेंगे नहीं, मोबाइल को तो आप यूज करेंगे, तो मोबाइल के अंदर सोशल मीडिया जिसको आप बार बार देखते हैं, हाउ कैन यू अर्न योर पॉकेट मनी, एंड वी हैव गिवन 6 hours पैकेज ऑलरेडी, एंड ऑन ट्यूजडे वी आर हैविंग अनदर 3 hour जर्नी। हर एक बच्चा अपनी पॉकेट मनी खुद कमा सकता है। अर्न एंड लर्न, अर्न एंड लर्न, that is the way we have to go by. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the new order of the world. The golden triangle is no more Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. Now it is your basic food, your basic health, your basic education, and B2B is no more business to business. It is back to basics of life, sustainable development of the entire world, which we have to take into consideration. And we strongly believe whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together. Let's make education relevant. It's a global confluence of educators, motivators, technocrats, counselors, wellness experts, corporates, government administrators, and decision makers. International Chamber for Service Industry extends you a very warm welcome. Should you wish to be a panelist or you want to send any suggestion, email is right given over here, innovation@ICSI.HR, or you can send us on WhatsApp your valuable suggestion. We are privileged this evening. What a beautiful water is flowing at the back. Wow. When we talk about it, we have got Dr. Sunil Mittal, Associate Dean, School of Environmental and Earth Sciences and Head of the Department, Environmental Sciences Technology, Central University of Punjab at Bathinda. We also convey our deep thanks to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.P. Tiwari ji, and of course, Dayanidhi ji and others, those are the part of it. Professor Dr. Mittal, he has a vast experience in the areas of the groundwater monitoring, water purification techniques, environment impact assessment studies, and when we talk about biosensor development, herbicide development, his work towards heavy metal stress analysis on the plants has contributed in identifying current issues and possible solutions. He has authored more than 50 research papers in national and international journals. He is a part of the National Uranium Project for water quality monitoring in Malwa region, Punjab. He is also a member of the State Environment Impact Assessment Authority, Government of India. Dr. Mittal has immensely contributed to the public seminars and outreach events in Punjab State. We extend him a very warm welcome because it's a beautiful state and we got to save every drop of the water and we got to keep the water clean. Excuse me. We also extend a very hearty welcome to our senior advisor, ICSI, and Executive Director with Ion Exchange Asia Pacific Private Limited, Singapore, Mr. Anil Manocha ji. Anil ji is based out of Singapore. He is experienced with professional in water and waste management. Both are very important, water management and waste management, and water management strategies and waste management. He is the Executive Director with Ion Exchange Asia Pacific Private Limited. He comes with the rich professional experience of 35 years working with various stakeholders in Asia, Middle East, Africa, and other parts of the world. He actively works with the communities, industry, technology partners, government, financial institutions in offering practical solutions for water treatment, water conservation, wastewater treatment, zero liquid discharge, and infrastructure. Anil ji is associated with various chambers, including he is the senior advisor to ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, and Singapore Water Association, India Business Forum, Trade Organization, and many more. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very hearty welcome this evening, both to Mr. Anil Manocha and Dr. Sunil Mittal. With these words, I hand you over in the safe hands in the expert's voice, that is Mr. Anil Manocha. Anil Manocha.
Yes, good day everybody. Greetings from Singapore, and hope you are enjoying your day. Today, today is our ninth webinar in series, and which is focused toward Punjab. As we know that Punjab is an agriculture dominant state of India, and we will discuss through Dr. Sunil Mittal the issues what we have in Punjab. I have here some pictures, and I would like you to have a relevance to those pictures before I go to next slide. What you see on the extreme right is a picture which talks about the total water availability on the earth.
It is not, Manochaji, picture. Are you showing it from PPT or how
Yes,
are you
it's a
showing?
PPT. It's a
No,
PPT.
it is not coming, sir.
Hello?
There is no PPT.
Is it? Can you see my slide moving?
No, no.
You have to share your screen first.
Already
Yeah.
I did. Let me do it once again.
Yeah.
I thought he shared earlier.
I think so.
No, but
Not yet.
your screen, no. Only you are there. Your screen sharing is not there, sir.
Okay, let me. Are you able to see it now?
No.
No. Okay. Give me a
So,
minute.
take your time. Ladies and gentlemen, as he made a mention to you, we have already done, now I think it has come. Now your presentation will be there. So we have done a couple of case studies already. We have done Singapore case study. We have done South Africa case study. We have done Malaysia's case study. Then he has given us a couple of other programs which we have taken the journey. And these 9 programs which we have organized related to water management strategies and what all is to be done related to the water, that is something very, very important. Because today, all our children, all our students, all our teachers, wherever we are, irrespective of you're in school, college, university, polytechnic, ITIs. So a couple of things, which are concerned, and we got to be taking care of water crisis issues and challenges. Okay, Anil Manochaji, now we can see the screen.
Excellent. Thank you. Sorry for this. Today we have a 9th webinar since October 23rd. We have been regularly conducting webinars covering various aspects of water, and we will talk what we have done so far. Today topic is focused on Punjab, and through Dr. Mittal we will understand the water situation in Punjab. Let me also sensitize all of you on some pictures which you can see on the screen. What you see picture on the right hand side of the screen is a picture which talks about the water availability on the earth. As we see that 97% water is ocean and 3% water lies in your rivers, canals, springs and groundwater. And this 3% water is normally used by all of us in homes, industries and agriculture. And when we further take down a breakup, about 90% of water of this 3% is used for agriculture sector. Sorry, I also would like to tell you a picture on the top. This is a picture, is a water storage facility which is generally used in Rajasthan. Most of us will be knowing that Rajasthan, the rainfall is minimum. If you go to Jaisalmer side of Rajasthan, India, the rainfall is as low as 40 to 50 mm, and then when you go to the western side of India or the eastern side of India, it goes to 900 to 1000. And still in Rajasthan, people are able to drink water throughout the year through a mechanism called tankas, and this is a picture of a tanka which stores the rainwater. And if you look at what our currently we talk a lot about National India Jal Jeevan Mission, we also talk about the same thing. Picture at the bottom is a picture which you see a car park where you could see a bit of a greenery in the center between the two wheels of the car. This greenery is kept intentionally so that when it rains, the water seeps down to the earth. So there's a sand, there's a soil between these two wheels, and you get the water going down to the earth. So these are the type of a typical water conservation devices which are used. So I'll go to the next. In today's session, let us briefly cover what exactly we are going to do. So far, we had 12 speakers who have come and participated in giving their mind to all of us. If you put the cumulative experience of all these speakers, they must have worked close to 250 years of experience in the water sector. So that rich inheritance and rich knowledge have been shared in the past webinars through this platform. We will also go through today what key learnings we had in the from the past webinars. We'll also share with the participants who are new, who have joined us today, the previous webinar links, so that any one of you who is interested in a specific topic can go back to those links and see and learn more about the issues and questions we discussed during those. And today's topic we'll talk a bit later. Now, if you look at the webinars and look at the speakers, what we have done is I have tried to pose a picture. We had international speakers who talked about certain specific subjects. Now, we first covered the supply side of water, because water is, as I told you in your previous slide, you have water in the form of lakes, rivers, and you have water in the form of groundwater. So we had two speakers from outside India who talked about the contamination in the lakes, rivers, and we had a speaker from UK. She talked about the contamination in groundwater. And practically, if you look at the contamination, we have captured a contamination in the form of it. This is a slide of a dissolved impurities in the water. Water though may look colorless, but it contains all type of minerals, all type of impurities, whether it's a arsenic or radioactive or pesticides, whatever we can think of, water has got. Also, water has got physical impurities like mud, and water also has got bacteriological impurities. So these two presenters talked about this in detail, and and also we talked about how this contamination comes into water. We as a human mankind uses water for different applications and then try to pollute the water, and water comes from industry, water comes from agriculture. I am talking water, I'm talking about the dirty water in a common language. Water comes from leaks, water comes from animal wastes, water comes through air pollution, through rain. Water also comes from hospitals, pharmaceutical companies. Water also comes from the waste we excrete, and all this water travels to the rivers, canals, water bodies, and also it contaminates the groundwater. Now, this is a picture just to sensitize the people. Then how do we use water, which is given to us by Mother Earth? If we go to Gangotri, the water is so clean, and when this water travels across the hard length and breadth of India, how do we treat this water? This is something all of us should be ashamed of. What we do to the water. Then after sensitizing this, then we had speakers who talked about how this water can be treated. Okay, we need water, we need to purify water. So this was a speaker who talked how water can be cleaned by systems which most of us must be familiar about, the type of systems which normally used for river water clarification. And this is a speaker who talked about how we can treat the water through ecological and natural way of treating the water. And this gentleman talked about how we can handle the home water purification system. And this gentleman also talked about how and what type of devices should we use at home. And this gentleman also talked about how we should avoid the plastic wastage by converting into glass bottles or recyclable bottles. So all these things were talked in my previous webinars. And from the supply side, then we move to demand side of water. And when we demand side, we say that most of the water is used for agriculture sector. So for this webinar, so far we have focused on agriculture sector. So we had a speaker here at the extreme right who talked about the concept of water conservation in agriculture sector, concepts of drip irrigation, concepts of other techniques, concepts of right type of seeds were discussed. And also we were told about the crops which are prevalent in India and how the things are changing. So we learned from him, and then the take from his presentation was that India has a potential to save 50% of water if we use the right techniques for farming, we use the right way of talked about how we can increase the economy of farmers. So here he talked about the processing plants, how we can process the foods, how we can minimize the wastage, and then he came with a concept that anybody who's interested, he will he will bring all of my products which are citrus in nature, which are like coconut or any juicy products, and he will ensure that it is sold back, and you can send it back to USA. And he will also explore the concept of bringing funding. So anybody who is listening here and who is from Punjab and looking into the concept of exporting the products and all those things can definitely talk to our chamber and we can help you out. Then we had another speaker who talked how the waterways, how the rivers, how the canals can be used for transportation of people, transportation of goods, and how it can be used for agriculture, recreation purpose. He brought the concepts of water sports. He brought the concepts of job creation. He brought the concept of floating structures, floating hotels, and all. So after we moved from uh, demand, we also focused on. We always talk, there's a water shortage. The people may not have sufficient water. But frankly speaking, is it a problem of water availability or it's a problem of water management? Then we focused on the issues of supply demand gaps. We focused on the issues of fact that water can be recycled multiple times. You need not to just use water for single application. It can be used recycled multiple times. And we talked about how we can bring the efficiency of water. We had a speaker from Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town was in news that it will go to zero water situation, but it never happened. And what they did, how they did, was very well captured by this gentleman. Then we talked about a circular economy in water through a speaker from Malaysia. She talked about the concept of circular economy. We also talked about Singapore water story. I will share some extracts of Singapore water story in next slide. And then we talked about how education can play a part in developing the water related concepts or increasing the awareness among people. So a very short note on what we learned from Singapore water story, because most of the people talk about Singapore and most of the people like Gulshan ji also showed a very pristine picture of Singapore waters. But it was not really the case when we look at 30, 40 years back. 30, 40 years back, Singapore was as polluted as most of the Asian countries is. And what Singapore did in that? The Singapore water story is a story about the policy the country adopted, the politics, that you will not bring politics into water strategies. That country was determined to do that. It's a story about engineering. It's a story about science, story of economics, social, system dynamics, and administration. So if you really look at it, every aspect of human life is connected with water in case you want to bring a water related solutions. And Singapore, which is such a small country of 700 square meters with a 5.5 million population, took 30 years to come back to a situation of water starved to 24/7 water supply. And when you compare with India, we have too many problems, and probably we have too many Singapores within our own country. And also we learned that water management is not a quick fix. It needs a long-term commitment. So a small territory like country like Singapore, if it takes 30 years, let us see what in store for India. And if we look at India, India is also doing a lot of efforts in the water sector. We are making a lot of inroads into water. There are so many successful examples. Right? Like if you look at the current situation, we have something close to 7 lakh villages. And in 7 lakh villages, approximately 200 villages have adopted uh, self-sufficiency in water. And there are so many good examples if you Google and do internet, that how these villagers have benefited by focusing on water recycling technologies. The per capita income of farmers has increased, the agriculture crop pattern has changed, the water metering, water rationing concepts have been reduced. So many good examples in India, but we have done only for 200 villages, we have to do it for 7 lakh villages. So let's see how much time it will take. And for such a vast country like India, we have challenges. We have contamination challenges. We got floods. We got droughts. See, India has got rain, which is maximum in Cherrapunji and minimum in Rajasthan. So it is not like Singapore, which is a uniform rain pattern. India has a multiple rain patterns, and then we have issues, so many issues, and then what I will say that this big problem has to be sliced down into small problems, like an orange. If orange is a big problem, then every then a bhag of orange has to be a small problem, and we have to work towards that. So you can think global, but you have to act local. Unless and until I act local, I cannot solve the problem. And every village, every town will have their own special way of addressing water. And we need a multidisciplinary approach, that is very clear. And we also need to work on 5R principle, which is publicized by even Jalniti: reduce, recycle, reuse. And most of it, you must respect water and you relate water to your life. The moment you will start respecting water and the moment you will start relating water to your life, I am sure you will find a change and you will manage water better. And once you manage water better, my problems will get reduced. With this, and then we have to adopt a multiple disciplinary approach. We have to increase agriculture efficiency, and we have to start young. We have to teach students. We have to educate students. And I have seen in one of the villages in India, students of class 9th, 10th have started talking about water management, agriculture, floriculture, what alternative crops can be given. So India today, we always talk about wheat, rice, and sugarcane, but that is not the end of the day. We have floriculture, we have pulses, we have so many other things which can be used, maize, which consume less water. And all these crops which we talk today, wheat, rice, and sugarcane, are water guzzlers. Though I say 90% of water is used for agriculture, out of 90%, 80% of water is used for these three crops. So what I can bring a change, probably is subject which is talked. And these are the links of past webinars which we had so far. Anybody who's interested can go through those and learn more about each presentation. Before I give to Dr. Sunil, I will like to tell you news in circulation. So what you have seen here on 6th of December, this is a news in the Wall Street of USA, that water has started trading as a future commodity, and it is being traded in the world markets like gold and oil. And currently, $1.1 billion worth of contracts are tied to water prices. So this is the future which is going as far as water is concerned. And all of us being in India needs to be sensitive to this aspect. So with this type of a situation, let me now request Dr. Sunil to give his mind to all of us, and we'll learn more from him, and we'll learn the ground realities, what is happening in Punjab. So over to you, Dr. Sunil.
Thank you, Dr. Manocha. So good evening, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, to all my worldwide participants who are live attending this webinar. First of all, I thank Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, DG ICSI, and Mr. Anil Manocha for giving me this opportunity to interact with you all. And I also take this opportunity to congratulate the team for this initiative, which is need of the hour. So, not taking much time, I will be starting my webinar, and I will mainly be covering that what is the current scenario of groundwater in Punjab and what has led to this situation, how post Green Revolution the groundwater level of Punjab has declined to such a level that we all have to write the words like water crisis in Punjab, and what are the future prospects or what are the challenges ahead with us regarding this. So just sharing my presentation. So I think my slide is visible.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So initial slides Dr. Gulshan ji and Dr. Manocha ji has talked a lot that water is basically a gift of nature. It is elixir of life, and we all are creatures of water, with 72% in our human body, 70% in our brain, and 80% of our blood is made up of water. And the slide has been shown many times by different presenters, indicating that the crux of the slide is that we have only out of the total water available, only 0.37% of the groundwater and 0.02% of the surface water to be practically usable by the human population. In surface water, 87% is in lakes, 11% in swamps, and 2% in rivers. So practically out of the total, we have a very, very, very small quantity to be available for our use. So what is next? So it is expected that by mid-century, there will be an additional 3 billion people who will need fresh water. And in whole of the world, there are fewer than 10 countries which possess 60% of the world's available fresh water supply, and this demand exceeds supply and no effective management operates. And India is one of the 10 countries which is in 60% of the world's freshwater supply. And in future, chances of water crisis are that over 1 million people will lack access to safe water. 2 out of the 3 people will be living with water shortage by 2025. Half of the world's wetlands have already been lost since 19th century. The basis of most projections for future conflicts is that the growth of demand, the decline in freshwater availability, and the adverse health effects from poor water quality, scarcity will result in violence and water wars. So in India, if I say India has 16% of the world's population, that means every 6th person is an Indian, but only 4% of the world's renewable water resources. And as per our 2011 census, the nation's per capita water availability stands at 1,545 cubic meters, down from 1,816 cubic meters in 2001 population count. So that means there is a very fast decline. Demand for drinking water is growing, but population and leaks are depleting our supply. Diseases from unsafe water and lack of basic sanitation kill more people every year than all forms of violence, including war. 90% of the 30,000 deaths that occur every week from unsafe water and unhygienic living conditions are in children under 5 years of age. So many communities in India still rely on standpipes and water tankers. Here I will be sharing with you a story of India. Here we can see in 2006, the India's water demand per capita was 829, which is expected to increase to 2020 by 1093. And if we see per capita, per liter, per person, the India's demand is expected to double from as compared to 2000 in 2050. But we are at least good that this is still much less as compared to US, where the per liter per day usage at present is nearly 582. That means 8 times, 7 to 8 times to that of India. And even if we see here on the lower corners, we find water use share in India is having highest share in agriculture. As already Manocha has discussed, India is basically an agrarian country, and 83% of the water is consumed in agriculture itself, with just 5% in industry and 12% in domestic. And this is highest in the world if you compare it with Europe, where the agriculture sector consumes only 33%, and overall in the world, 69%. So this has led to presently 54% of India's groundwater wells are decreasing. You can see a large chunk of India in red color. These are the areas which are practically or really water deficit areas, we say. So India's water map. So India's total freshwater resources in India are nearly 4,000 billion cubic meters. And out of this, only 50%, nearly 1,869 barrel cubic meter is available water. Other is lost either as non-available water or lost in evaporation. And further, out of this 45 to 50%, a large part is surface water, which accounts to 60%, and 40% is the groundwater availability. This we have already discussed, but the crux is that still the groundwater, out of the total groundwater, more than 90% of the groundwater is used for the agricultural purposes, and more than 79% is used for 79% of fresh water is used in our agriculture sector. So from India, moving on to Punjab, I think many of the Punjabis may have been associated with this or maybe live watching this. So we all know Punjab was once a land of 5 rivers. The name Punjab even came from the words Panch plus Aab, which means 5 rivers. And this is a story now I am going to tell how this land of most prosperous state of India, land of 5 rivers, has been turned down into a land where we are using the words like water crisis. So this was an area of 5 rivers flowing through it, although after partition to have moved to Pakistan, one is halfway there. But even then we have good quantity of water running through the state. But the state of Punjab was once known as the food granary of the country and is subdivided into 3 regions: Majha, Malwa, and Doaba. Kharif crops of the Punjab comprise maize, cotton, rice, sugarcane, pulses, and are grown from September to April. The Ravi crops include gram, barley, wheat, fodder, oilseeds, and winter vegetables, which are from September to March. So now, if I talk about Punjab, Punjab once known as the breadbasket of nation. The population is around 2.7 crores with geographical area of 5.04 million hectares. Out of this, nearly 80 to 85% is the net sown area, and total irrigated area out of this is 97%. And again, to show you, here the difference comes compared to the India. Here the canal irrigated is only 27%. However, tube well irrigated means depending on the groundwater is 70%. And in Punjab, there are more than 14 lakh tube wells. That means almost 1 tube well in a 2 hectare. So this is the huge number of tube wells that are there in the Punjab, and the total cropped area in Punjab is 7.90 million hectare with cropping intensity of nearly 190%. So these are the 5 rivers: Beas, Satluj, 3 rivers currently flowing through it: Ravi River, Beas River, Satluj River, and Ghaggar River. Mainly Beas, Satluj, and Ghaggar completely flow through the Punjab and further enter to the Pakistan at one or the other point. Similar is the case with the Ravi River, which ultimately enters to the Pakistan. So Punjab has a huge network of canals, one of the largest canal system of the country. Almost 30.88 lakh hectare cultivated area comes under canal network, and river water is distributed into 7 main canal systems in the state, starting from Sirhind, Bist Doab, Upper Bari, Sirhind Fitter, Steen, Bhakhda, and Shahnar Canal. So this I have already discussed. So now moving on to water demand, availability, and crippling defect. We have seen that water, in terms of water, Punjab was once a most prosperous state with a very good canal network system with large number of rivers flowing through it. What? Now, we have irrigation water demand, which stands around 4.45 million hectare cubic meter, and surface water availability out of this is 1.43, and annual replenishable recharge is 1.61, and the total irrigation water availability is 3.04. However, we are using much higher, and the net annual defect is nearly 1.5 million hectare meter cube. So this defect is being met by overdraft from groundwater. So from here onwards, you can see that how and why the groundwater of this state has moved from most prosperous to a crisis situation. So showing you some more slides related to this. So this is the central Punjab, where exactly, if we say all these areas in dark pink color, these pink color areas are overexploited area. And in terms of percentage, it comes to around 83%. So 83% of the area is overexploited, and only this white color, which is less than 13%, is currently in the safe zones. So this overdraft of water for so many years has led to sharp decline in the water table. You can see where 5 to 10 meter category has continuously decreased. On the other hand, more than 20 meter category has increased in central Punjab. This is the water table is lowering with every year and going down by down. This is another slide showing you water table status in Malwa region of Punjab. And this is the situation of 2001, when most of the, you can see, water was either in blue or in green with small patches of yellow color. But this has now turned down to the most of area under the brown, and all the green area has now get turned into the blue, and we could not see much of the white. So that means the water tap, which was till 2001 in most of the area, was only confined up to the 15-meter. Now more than 60% of area has water tap gone more than 15 meters, and many points it is below 29. So on right extreme is a graph showing the minimum and maximum water table in the area from 2000 onwards to 2018. Here again we can see the same decline in water table. So the water table of the Malwa region of Punjab, central Punjab, has really gone down, which is the major issue. That is why we're using the word water crisis. So now comes, what are the causes of overexploitation of groundwater? Okay, increase in human population. This is obvious. Then other one is domestic hand pumps to submersible, shifting from traditional crops to paddy, which I will be discussing as a small case study. Then definitely climatic changes, which are also very much related to this shifting of crops from traditional to paddy one. So the population of Punjab from 1960s onward has almost, you can say, gone more water, but this contributes only a very less, as we have only. Am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Sunil, you can go ahead.
Okay. As this domestic consumption is very less, it is less than 10%, even 3-4% in the Punjab. So this does not have much effect on the groundwater scenario in the Punjab. So what is the really culprit? So all of us know Punjab was the state of Punjab was the center of Green Revolution, where 1960 onward Green Revolution started, which led to introduction of the new crop varieties, high yielding rice varieties, use of more fertilizers, more pesticides, and now you can see how the graph of paddy, which was actually not a crop of the Punjab because of its agroclimatic conditions, was introduced to the Punjab state in a bigger way after 1960 onwards, and you can see the area under rice in 1960 was less than 300 hectares. And if I say it has grown to nearly 10 or 11 times, reaching to 3,000 million hectares, in 2018. And we all know rice is a one crop which needs very large amount of water. And in Punjab, due to its agroclimatic conditions, irrespective of the nearly 300 liters for 1 kg of rice required in the throughout the country, in Punjab, this production needs more than 500 liters of the water. To meet this huge demand of water, there was need of the water resources, and the same has been met by groundwater. If you can see here a table, the number of tube wells in lakhs has increased from less than 2 lakh in 1970 to nearly 15 lakh by 2019. That means to extract water for the paddy, the consumption of water has really gone to nearly 8 times. So the huge demand for the paddy there are almost one tube well in 2 hectares of land. So above graph, you can see how the tube wells has increased, the area with the tube well has increased in the years from 1981 to 2019. So this rice has, or the cultivation of paddy has not only directly led to more extraction of the water, but since this is a crop which also produces methane gas, a global warming gas, has led to practically increase in average temperature during the season in the area. And this increase in temperature has led to further increase in evapotranspiration, and a large amount of water is being lost in the form of transpiration. So this again increases more of the water demand and also impacts our climate. So one of the impact of climate can be seen in the form of rainfall pattern. Since 1970s to 2019, if we see almost annual average rainfall pattern has gone down, and the rainfall has decreased and have almost come to 50 to 60% of that after 1990 onwards. So one of the gaps which was filled by rainwater recharge, that has also gone down to a larger extent. So not only all this has affected our groundwater sources or our water storage, but this all scenario has also impacted negatively to us by exposing to us to the water quality. The water quality of the state has also been impacted by this huge extraction of water due to lowering of water depth every year. Now the tube well depth has also increased from 100 feet to 200 feet, 200 feet to 400 feet, and we are passing through some such rocks in the underground area which are naturally having high quantities of heavy metals, and most of these heavy metals are hazardous for our health. They pose many health risks to us, and by passing on to these rocks, now we are extracting the water which is having high concentration of all these heavy metals. Not only heavy metals, many other chemicals, and this has also affected the geochemistry of our groundwater. That will be too scientific, not talking much on that, but showing you some of the pictures of Malwa region of Punjab, where we can see the scenario of groundwater level, where in a special distribution, we find that a large chunk of the area has TDS more than the prescribed Bureau of Indian Standard limits, and this water is practically not drinkable directly. So we need to treat this water due to this high level of TDS levels. Similar is the situation of alkalinity. If you see, almost whole of the area is having high alkalinity as than the prescribed limits of 200. So similarly, the fluoride has also increased in groundwaters of the area, and against the BIS prescribed limit of 1 ppm, a large area seen in blue and pink color can be seen has come under high fluoride content. And here is another slide showing the uranium. A part of the area has also been now have uranium to higher concentration in some of the districts of Punjab. Here are few more pictures showing the concentration of arsenic, chromium, selenium, copper, all heavy metals. So in short, I can only say the piercing to these or going deeper and deeper, we have pierced some such rocks which are naturally high in content to these, and now we are extracting these and adding to our water. So these are the table showing groundwater columns. The districts Firozpur, Faridkot, Bathinda, Mansa, Muktsar, Sangrur has high salinity content. Then Amritsar, Bathinda, Faridkot, Patiala, Fatehgarh Sahib, fluoride content. Likewise, iron in many districts, nitrate is much above than the required limits. Then Kandi belt of Punjab, Hoshiarpur and Nawashahar is affected with selenium, lead in Bathinda and Mansa districts, uranium in Bathinda, Firozpur, Muktsar districts, and Barnala is also now added to it. Then arsenic and pesticide residue contents. So all these have high. So why we are worried if they are high? We are worried because of their health risks. So I have made a health risk graph map for Malwa region of Punjab of few districts, and here we can see blue color. Most in some parts of the blue color, it has gone to a category of medium risk, or in the risk category, we have moved the drinking of water in these areas without any treatment will lead to many cancer risks. Likewise is for the health risks from groundwater from non-carcinogenic chemicals. Here again, the area which is having reading more than 1 is under risk, and we find except few districts, almost all other districts are under risk, either less or more. But yes, they are definitely at the risk due to this present groundwater quality in these areas. So this is the groundwater quality for irrigation. Here also we say most of the areas are in good to marginal. We are good enough, and however still there are some areas where we say the water is even not good for agriculture also presently. So our government has taken many initiatives, and one of them is enforcement of timely transplantation. For this purpose, the Punjab Preservation of Subsoil Water Act 2009 have been enacted, which provides for no sowing of nursery before 10th May. The nursery is mainly sown nowadays for paddy crop, and the control have been tried to make on the paddy. Nursery to be transplanted before a date to be notified by the state, and in case of violation, nursery or transplanted paddy to be destroyed at the expenses of the farmer. Then propagation of own farm water saving techniques like laser leveling, bed planting, zero tillage, SRI, direct seeded rice, rainwater harvesting, and recharge structures being constructed in the sub-mountain regions. Subsidy up to 85% on micro irrigation, especially drip and sprinkling irrigation. Subsidy on underground pipeline system to individual farmers, and then subsidy for community underground projects under Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, watershed management projects being implemented under different schemes. In 2012, the Central Groundwater Water Authority has notified 45 blocks in the state for restricting and banning the construction of new structures for extraction of groundwater for any use other than drinking. Department of Soil and Water Conservation of Punjab has established Saharong Kandi watershed and Fatehpur Kangar sub watershed successfully in Hoshiarpur district. Watersheds like in some other areas of Punjab, Kandi region, then to Patiala, Sangrur, Ropar, etc. are also being under construction. So concluding my topic, the agriculture system of Punjab is mainly responsible for overexploitation of groundwater. The insufficient of rainfall is also responsible for inadequate amount of water replenishment to groundwater and rivers and canals. The higher concentration of heavy metals populations of this region. So there is a urgent need to address the issue, and it is also clear that the initiative taken against challenges are insufficient by the concerned authorities. So there is a need, urgency to accelerate successful government initiatives. There is a need to spread water saving measures in whole region of the Punjab with drip irrigation, sprinkling system, rainwater harvesting, underground piping system. The canal system requires to be revamped. The regulation or check on the farm and industrial sector on pumping out water should be implemented. There is a need to promote less water consuming crops like maize and sunflower, and this is one of the crop diversification is practically need of the hour in the state to save our water. Then definitely, as Dr. Gulshan ji and Dr. Manocha ji has talked, role of public awareness, public investment in this should be examined, and the penalty should be required to persons or industries involved in contaminating and wastage of water with zero tolerance. So with thanks, I end my presentation and welcome you for your queries or questions. So again, Dr. Gulshan ji and Shri Anil Manocha ji, I am thankful to you for providing me this opportunity to talk with you and all my audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunil Mittal ji. I would request Mr. Anil Manocha to kindly take over, please.
Yes. Thank you, Sunil ji, for making us aware about the issues. So we always say that unless we know what to change, we will not change. So this is a very good step forward towards knowing all the audiences what really problem Punjab faces. So it's a good initiative, and I will say a few things that foremost, in case we want to change the scenario, definitely government will do whatever government can do in their means. But as a water consumer, I must start respecting water and relating water to my life. The moment I start doing that, I will not pollute it. I will be cautious that before I discharge the water from my factory, whether my factory is in Patiala, Jalandhar, wherever, I will treat the water. The moment I dispose the water from my house as a sewage, I will see that it is properly treated. So if we as a human being can respect it, I feel we will do something very good. And another point which you brought in, few points are very important, and diversity of crops, I feel if we do, we will be able to save the discharge from bore wells. Today, what has happened in Punjab and other parts of the India is that we have reached the aquifer levels. When we dig deep, we reach the aquifer levels. But we are not supposed to be doing that. Aquifers are a food, water security for the nation, water security of the people. We should be taking water only from the surface, shallow wells. But we have gone to deep well because there's a necessity. And the moment we will do a diversity in crops, we will bring more efficient crops, and we educate our farmers that we can earn the similar amount of money by sowing maize or by sowing pulses or by sowing sunflower. Why farmer will not do that? See, farmer, we have to see that how do we protect the economy of farmers. So we have to get into exercise which is more social and all. And you also brought in various concepts of per capita consumption. You said about 167 liters per person per day as compared to 567, 500 something of USA. But when we were talking to our presenter in Cape Town, South Africa, and when the water crisis hit, the per capita consumption was restricted to 50 liters per person per day. So I will say that human will change based upon the necessities. So important for us is to understand the concept of water management. The moment we do that, other things will start falling in place. The moment I will change the crop from paddy to other crops, probably the climatic effects will improve, the methane emission will be lower. And what do I do currently? Like you said about this Malwa region that people are suffering. So we have to do two ways. When the patient is sick, he has to go to doctor for treatment. So definitely there are certain technologies which will provide water, safe drinking water to people, which is the need of the hour. See, people should not be drinking a uranium rich water or high hardness water and all those things. So there are certain steps which one can take at a NGO level or at probably the through ICIC level, how we can educate and solve to whatever little extent one can be done in addressing the needs, at least for drinking, so that people can avoid cancer and all those things. So those is another point which I can say. On the evaporation losses, which is very high, you mentioned a figure. Definitely the technologies are coming where people are going for floating solar beds. People are generating solar power, and the solar floating beds are put on the top of river banks and all those things. So that will help in generating power as well as reducing the evaporation losses. So there are so many interfaces can be done. So it requires a lot of interaction with the concerned people, and probably I must thank you for at least creating an awareness and to find a need to change, and we can change. With this, I will end my presentation, my talk, and I will leave it to Gulshan to sum it up. Over to you, Gulshan.
Thank you very much, Anil Manocha ji. Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Sunil Mittal ji. It was a wonderful interaction, presentation, thought process, ground realities, whatever you have given to us. I think left only to the central government or to the state government, they are doing their best, whatever they can do as a policy framework. It is a community involvement which we have to start on the ground. It is basically small groups we all got to take care of, bringing awareness, bringing appropriate measures, and then schools, colleges, universities, institutions, polytechnics, ITIs, skill centers, wherever the children are, I think the teachers, the professors, the educators, and the entire ecosystem of the education have to get together, because teachers can bring awareness to parents also, teachers can bring awareness to the students also. And I'm of a very strong opinion. During this pandemic, I'll take a small example. I started growing my own vegetables on my rooftop, in my kitchen garden, all the spaces which are left over in my residence. I'm just growing organic vegetables, my own. So what I would share, any school compound, any university compound, any college compound, any polytechnic compound, any ITI compound, जहां भी जगह मिलती है अपनी ऑर्गेनिक खेती करें। जब बच्चे वहां पर प्रैक्टिकल करेंगे तो उनको समझ आएगी हमें क्या चाहिए, हमें क्या करना है, हमें कैसे करना है। और दूसरा, it has to be done as an ecosystem, as a mass movement, and then accordingly the whole system has to be a part of it, because health is a great concern. हमारा भविष्य जो बच्चे, that is a great concern. And if we are drinking that kind of a water, if we are consuming that kind of a water, imagine what kind of a future we all will be having. So thereby, I think we all have to get together. जितने भी हमारे स्किल सेंटर्स हैं, बिकॉज प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना के इतने सारे प्रोग्राम हैं, there are 37 sector skill councils of Government of India under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. I think they should also, all the skill centers and training providers which are in Punjab, they should also become a part of this campaign. हर जगह पर हमको अवेयरनेस लानी पड़ेगी, बच्चों को, बड़ों को, बुजुर्गों को, सबको साथ लेकर, and we have to develop an ecosystem that water conservation, clean water, drinkable water, consumable water, appropriate water, whatever capacity we have to use and whatever form we have to use, and diversification of the crops and other things also, which you have touched very well. In fact, I was just watching Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia on television 3-4 days back. And in one of the interviews, he made a mention that he has already submitted the report to the state government of Punjab, and they are further, it is up to the government to implement what all recommendations Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia's committee has given. So what I personally feel is, Punjabis are very prosperous, Punjabis are very dynamic, Punjabis are very vibrant, Punjabis, they know how to live, how to let others live and enjoy everybody, because I think this particular society ecosystem, it is the most vibrant and most felt and most chivalry-based community, which has to be taking the positive energy and a positive thought process. मुझे तो हमेशा ही लगता है कि जब लोग पॉजिटिव हो, सिस्टम पॉजिटिव हो, इकोसिस्टम पॉजिटिव हो, हम सब लोग इकट्ठे मिलकर करेंगे तो कोई वजह ही नहीं है। सिचिवाला जी ने पीछे कितना काम किया, वाटर के ऊपर बहुत सारी चीजें की। रूरल डिपार्टमेंट भी पंजाब गवर्नमेंट का एक कर रहा है। डॉक्टर रोजी वैद है एक लेडी, शी इज वर्किंग ऑन द रूरल प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड ऑल दैट इन ओवर देयर डायरेक्टर। आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ अस टुगेदर एंड एजुकेशन की प्रणाली जो हमारी है, एजुकेशन इकोसिस्टम की जो प्रणाली है, आप हमेशा हम लोग कहते हैं कि माता पिता के बाद किसका स्थान है? गुरु का है। अरे भाई, शिक्षण संस्थान अगर इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है तो आई थिंक let us put in our entire ecosystem bringing correct awareness. With these words, my deepest thanks and gratitude to Dr. Sunil Mittal ji, Anil Manocha ji. Look forward meeting you yet on the another deliberations, and we got to make Punjab once again